everybody, and welcome to episode 155 of Trials and Trebuchets. I'm your Dungeon Master, Luke, and joining me are my players, and we're going to maintain the same monotonous enthusiasm the entire time.
Hi, my name is Ben, and I play the level
Customer
8
service.
gnome wizard, Windsor Wallaby, along with his cuddly little companion, Mr. Wiggles.
Meow!
Hello, it is me, Carla, and I play the level 8 Tiefling Roguelock, level 6 Rogue, level 2 Warlock, Integrity Idleberry. Everybody dies, it started with a whisper from the wall of wicked blister, and then it burnt artist to a crisper.
Damn.
Everybody dies.
Jesus.
Hi, I'm Sarah, and I play Mira Marchand, the level 8 half-elf bard. It's gonna take a lot to stay at Wild Cliff School. We did some necromantic magic that's against the rules. Council complains here in Agia. It's gonna take some time explaining that we had to.
Oh, that's so good.
Hi, I'm Sam, and I play the level 8 human sorceress, Serenep Cinderman, who's ready to maybe not fight kids this episode, but, talking to people about, why we did things.
Who knows?
We're fighting adults.
You're going to fight adults.
Bureaucracy.
That's the real villain. Last time on Trials and Trebuchets, the students dealt with the
Wait, would that really be true? Having bureaucracy be the villain in a Trials and Trebuchets episode?
Wow, who would have thought?
Wait, do you guys think Luke doesn't like bureaucracy?
What?
I
That is
kind of
not-
get those vibes, but I don't know for
Just a
certain.
little, yeah.
I don't think we have.
maybe
I don't
just
think we
hide
have
it.
any evidence of it. I think this is more of a hearsay thing.
Objection, hearsay.
And last time on Trials and Trebuchets, the students dealt with the aftermath of their ritual, checking in on a groggy artist, getting very kindly chewed out by Professor Alaro, and trying to the best of their ability to comfort the recently dead Delnus and Alina.
And
The
duet.
night- And Duet, of
I can't
course.
believe we
The
forgot
ever
about
confident, ever non-failing, super not scared by the fact she just died Duet. The night ended with Professor Alaro's health check on Artis, whereafter she speculated lightning infusions may jumpstart him if his new body begins to fail. In the early hours of the morning, Swim gently coasted to sleep in the artesian cottage. And everything was fine.
Until it
Yes.
wasn't. Until
And
we
that's
woke
how
up
we
the next
end
morning.
and that's how we end the podcast. Thank you guys so much for listening to Trials and Trebuchets.
We find ourselves on a chilly autumn morning, the last autumn morning of the year, in fact. The grass around the artesian cottage has just the beginnings of frost on it. There are marks in the garden from where you took the bed in last night, from where it was positioned during the ritual, and just general the signs that people were here en masse last night. More people than the artesian cottage has seen in a little while. Could you all describe in this early morning? It's probably like 8 a.m. What does your character look like when they're sleeping here in the artesian cottage? It's just splayed out on the ground.
I would say so. I would say Windsor's kind of like flat, like face first, with his arms like kind of like outstretched near his head, and he's just like sleeping with his head on the side, just like, I've slept on worse.
Mr. Wiggles is cuddled up close by in like a bag or something like that, or leaning on a bag or something like that, as if it was some sort of bed.
Mira's found like a random little corner, like maybe next to a couch or something, just like a little off the side area. She's taken off her prosthetic arm to sleep, so that's kind of like resting beside her, and she's just like curled up into like a very cozy little ball.
Integrity wanted her head to be slightly elevated.
Of course.
So she has her head inside one of like the ladder spaces.
Yeah.
So she's just like sleeping with her head inside like the bottom ladder.
Rocking that
hole.
guillotine aesthetic.
Um,
And Serenep.
I think with all the extra layers that Serenep has been wearing to kind of like hide herself, she's kind of folded them in a way to like mimic like a very small but decently thick like mattress just to kind of like.
Oh, excellent.
And she kind of like curls into herself like on her
Yes.
side, like kind of. I guess it's fetal position,
Mm-hmm,
and she like uses that to like be as comfortable as possible and just asleep.
Wonderful. So we see this small tableau on the main floor of Artist Artesian's cottage, and you're all very rudely awoken by a loud thump that comes from the loft upstairs. If you don't recall what Artist Artesian's cottage looks like, it's a long rectangular home with a vaulted ceiling, and there's a small loft area that runs like an L shape around the left and front of the house. And you get up by going up the ladder that Integrity has put her head so warmly into the rungs of. But nonetheless, the four of you hear a thump from above and are awoken from your peaceful sleeps.
I think Sereneth has been kind of waiting for something all night. So when she hears the thump, she like jumps up and like goes over and like pulls herself up the ladder so that she's not accidentally going to kick Integrity in the head.
Yep.
Because her head's in one of the things. But she
Do
kind
you
of like
all ever wash
pulls
your
herself
feet?
up. Wake up.
Sereneth, you kind of like push at Integrity to get out of the way so you don't accidentally step on her, and she like kind of moans a bit at you as you climb up this ladder. As you poke
Your
your
feet
head
stinks.
up into the loft area, you see a thin form, pasty-skinned creature. You see Artist Artesian. He has like long hair, pulled back, or not pulled back right now, but he's wearing his like very typical kind of like black cloth, very threadbare clothing, and he looks Sereneth as if he was sleeping in a chair at one of the desks, which is positioned up here on this loft, and has just now fallen out of it, and he turns and looks at you, and he has this very lethargic gaze about his eyes as they like swing over, and he moves his head very slowly as he looks over at you, Sereneth. Your head just poking up out of the top of this kind of like ladder.
Just like...
Yeah, just the eyes. And you hear him go,
Are you okay?
You see him do a very slow blink as he looks at you, Sereneth. And then all four of you hear again from above, just
okay, she's gonna call
the pained moans of Artist Artesian.
What was that?
She like looks over like, Artist fell out of his chair.
How did he manage that?
Gravity.
Artist, you're good, right?
I think that means probably not good.
Winsler, can you get a glass of water, please?
I'll go get some water.
Thank you.
Winslow,
Where's the kitchen again?
There's
It's right there. You can see it through the archway.
All right,
Winslow,
thank you.
You
It's the
turn.
place where there isn't food.
I'm sorry, I'm still waking up. I
It's
think I
okay.
found it
Clean the
though.
wall.
Yay!
No wait, those are the dishes.
Take a glass from the dishes then.
Winslow, you grab an old glass. It's kind of used. You don't know who drank out of it last night. You walk over. There's like a kettle of water. It's cold because there's no insulation in this fucking house. You pour it into the cup. What do you want to do with this glass of water, Winslow? There's only enough water for one full glass of water. That's very important.
I want to bring it up to the loft where Artist is and give him the water.
All right, you walk over by Integrity. You also push with your feet so that she moves the hell out of the way, and she kind of like.
Why are you all kicking me?
and she rolls the
Why
other
did you
direction.
decide to
Off the
sleep
floor.
there?
It's comforting. Like, don't you like the wood on your neck?
I mean, not particularly.
And Winslow, with one hand on the ladder, one hand balancing this cup of water, and two sure-footed feet, like a little billy goat, you climb up this ladder and deliver to Sereneth and Artist a cup of water.
Here's the water.
I think, while he went to get the water, she like climbed up the rest of the way and kind of went over to him just like see if there was any like damage or whatever.
Roll a perception check for me.
Oh no, he broke his hip.
Oh no.
He's fallen and he can't get up.
Yeah.
Okay. Perception.
I wonder what the fantasy version of Life
Oh
Alert is.
shit, that's like a 21.
Oh, fuck yeah. Sereneth,
Fuck
you
yeah.
see concealed, as if it was intentionally obstructed from you, Sereneth, on one of these desks, the one Artist was sitting at last night. And if you recall, he after the conversation with the four of you, kind of ran up and started writing something immediately, which is, whatever. Not incredibly suspicious given the circumstances. Maybe he just wanted to reflect. But you do see a very nicely penned, it's a very scratchily penned, what looks like letter that's hidden underneath a couple of other older documents. The date is from like today-ish, like this, it's presumably what he wrote last night, right, Sereneth? It's very nice, like paper and very scratchy handwriting on it. You could peek at that if you'd like. It seems to be there.
Yeah, like while I guess I kind of like turn him in a way to like pat his back and like give him the water because he's like very much out of it.
Yes.
And I guess she looks over. Can I see who the letter's to?
You see that it's addressed to a person named Bergale.
How is that spelled?
Bergale.
It's spelled Bergale. Very simple, exactly how it sounds. Cool. Yeah,
My name is Bergale. I live in a pail.
I'm gonna be sending you straight to jail.
It's addressed to and there's an envelope penned out as well, Sereneth, that you see when you grab the letter proper. Bergale Peslum in Tedley. Which is a town you might have heard of. I'm not super certain. It's kind of a smaller town, somewhere lost in the woods, elven settlement. So I don't assume it's something Sereneth is familiar with. But you could read it as you like pat Artis on the back and wait for Winsler to pour a cup of water if you'd like.
Yeah, I'm very curious as to like what exactly what was so important about writing this letter after he just came back to life, basically.
Yes. Bergale, I hope that the new year finds you and Tedley in good health and warmth. This past year was difficult in new ways, and I expect such difficulty to carry on in the new year. I feel a call in a way I've not felt in decades to leave this school, though I am tied here more than before by my students. But I've heard a voice I thought I had forgotten, and have felt my mind twist after it, as if it wants to chase. If the gods are kind, I'll be by to see the both of you shortly, when the students leave over the winter. And if they are kinder still, may they grant me courage. Should my travel plans fall through and you don't hear from me for any other, or for another season, a letter addressed to any of the following: Sereneth Cinderman, Winsler Wallaby, Integrity Idleberry, and Mira Marchand via Wildcliff will find its way quickly to my attention, far more quickly than a direct letter. With love, Artis Artesian.
Okay. So past friendship, possibly someone that he's been talking to for a long time then. Okay.
Yeah.
Nothing too crazy.
Nothing incredible. Yeah.
I'm going to pour water in the cup.
Yes, Winsler.
And I'm gonna
I thought there was already water in the cup. Wait
there is water in the cup.
Happening?
Yes.
I'm gonna pour more water in the cup.
Where's the other? Oh yeah, you can use create water, right?
Okay. You pour water in the cup and then pour more.
I'm gonna bring it over to Artis and I'm gonna
bring it to Artis.
Hand it to him to see if he takes it.
Yes, Winsler. You climb this ladder. You see Artis flumped on the ground. You stand there for a second and hold out the water as if for Artis to just grab it from your hands. He looks at you. Again, his eyes roll slowly as if he's like very lethargic. It almost looks like someone who's like still half asleep. And he looks at you and you see a twitch of the hands and his arms start like centimeter by centimeter just rubbing along the ground, making kind of like a weird squeaky noise. And you just hear him go,
You don't think this isn't the thing? It's far too soon for this to be the thing that Professor Alara was talking about would happen, is it?
I mean, I don't know.
Do you need to use lightning at him?
But we just did it yesterday. Like she like looks over the edge. Like, but we just did that yesterday. So like,
maybe he needs a lot of it.
Can I give him the water first?
Sure. Yeah, and we'll see what happens. I guess.
Mm-hmm. All right, I'm gonna try and like get him to drink it. Like hold it to his mouth.
Make a medicine check to administer water to a lethargic and groggy Artis.
If you tilt his head too wrong, he will drown in underwater.
11.
Sereneth, you see this wonderful demonstration of skill that Integrity and Mira only have the chance to listen to, which is Winsler kneeling down, putting a hand on Artis's shoulder, bringing the cup up close to his face, and then just splushing the entire glass of water on his face in an attempt to like slowly like lean it over and like, oh, here you go, drink. Except it all just splashes out on him. Mira and Integrity from below, you hear Serenep and Winsler go like, I'm gonna give him water first, and then you hear a light splash.
I like sort of lean over to where Integrity is in the ladder, and I'm like, did he splash the water? It sounds like he splashed the water.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to. Maybe.
He super splashed.
I need something to like wipe up the floor a little bit. Maybe some of the water will like get into your mouth so you can, get the water inside you. But for now, we need a towel.
Okay,
Winsler.
I'll get you guys a towel down here.
Thank you.
Yeah. You can walk to the bathroom where there are plenty of threadbare towels and throw one up to Winsler. Winsler, you see Artis on the ground, and it almost looks like he's like trying to like get his tongue out to like get some of the water on the ground, but it's like stuck. Like the reach is limited right now, right? And he's just going as he tries to almost slurp water off the ground.
Plan B. I'm going to use levitate to bring him downstairs and sit him on the couch. Absolutely. And then I'm going to go get him more water.
Oh my god.
Okay.
This time not splash him in the face.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to.
It's okay.
Serenep gently touches Artis. He begins to float slightly. You pick him up ever so slightly, as if he's it weighs nothing, a little balloon of an elf, and push him over the edge and like down. Mira and Integrity.
As soon as I saw this, I'm like, what the heck is happening? I am going to sort of like stretch my arms, like sort of, I don't know, is Artis being thrown out or is Artis being like drifting down?
Lightly down towards you?
So I'm just going to be like trying to catch him.
I want to be clear. I'm not like just like dropping it. Like I'm keeping a hand like in direct contact at all times to like kind of bring him down slowly, like
just let him drift.
Integrity also just woke up and does not know what's happening.
Yeah.
So
I just imagine her laying on the floor. She looks up like just like staring at the ceiling, and then he just kind of floats out. This
is gonna be the whole episode now. This is just really fun. So, Serenep, you levitate Artis and bring him down. Integrity, you stand in like almost like a volleyball receiving position, your arms wide, knees bent, ready, active, prepared in case he does fall. And the two of you can bring Artis Artesian down, gently set him upon a couch, which is in the corner, near the corner. It's pushed up against the wall. It's not the best interior decoration, but it's certainly there. And can release the magic upon him. He's kind of like sitting now. He looks reasonably normal. His face is just a regular, like he doesn't look injured or anything. He just looks normal as he sits there. It's just that his movements are so slow and his eyes are there's a haziness to his eyes, almost like he's not entirely looking at you, or not, like someone who can't quite see your face, right?
I'm gonna go into the kitchen, grab him another glass.
Yes.
Get water.
You grab a glass, you grab the kettle where there was only one glass full of water, and luckily enough, a little trickle, a quarter of a cup trickles out into this glass, just the remnants. There's a little bit of silt in it, but that's fine. You can like kind of avoid pouring that into the glass, Serenep. You have skill in pouring water and different things. You took etiquette lessons. So you can walk over and give Artis sitting down a glass of water, which he will carefully slurp drink slowly. He has difficulties drinking. And he goes,
At this point, I think Integrity is thinking, like, can he just not talk, or like what's happening? So I would like to use my awakened mind and try to talk to him to see if he's there. Like,
that's
how
neat.
Like, what's happening? I think I'm just going to be like, telepathically talk to him and say, are you doing okay? Like, are you very tired? What's happening?
I thought that my whole body was numb and I tried to just get up and shake it off, and I just fell, and now I can't move very well, and I feel like I'm having a bit of a hard time breathing.
Oh, I'm going to relay this to everyone else.
Yes, Integrity relays this message to the other three of you. Windsor, you can scuttle down the ladder after very quickly mopping up the puddle upstairs.
Okay, so I think this is what Professor Alara was talking about. Okay, she's gonna, like, after, like, she gets him, like, to drink what water was in the glass, she's gonna set it on, like, is there, like, a coffee table or something?
There's a couple coffee tables. You could just put it with the rest of the piles of dishes.
Coffee tables, but
There's a lot of coffee tables.
They were gifts.
The couch that he's sitting on is actually just another coffee table that he threw a tarp over. And then she's gonna, like, take his hands and use, and I guess
I'm so excited.
Basically, kind of try and, like, do something akin to, like, electroshock therapy.
Okay.
Of, like, starting with small pulses, using shocking graph, that kind of stuff.
Absolutely.
And, like, increase it.
Can you roll damage on shocking grasp for me?
Pranked.
And Artist turns to dust. No.
No.
It was all an elaborate ruse.
Well, we tried.
Is there, like, a way to roll something to be like, I'm going to do disadvantage or something like that?
Negative. Unfortunately, there's not ways to attenuate damage.
Okay, this is the one time I'm wishing for low numbers, please.
So hype.
Maximum damage.
What I can do, Serenup,
Are you gonna cut him?
I can be like, hey, don't hit him too hard, and I'm gonna use cutting words.
It decreases the damage.
Which is one of my bard features, so you have to subtract a d8 from your damage roll.
Perfect.
Amazing.
Watch it do no damage at all.
That would be spectacular.
So I rolled a 6 in total, and now I'm going to take away 8. So -2 damage.
Oh my god.
Only defibrillation, no harm.
So
Clear.
you see Serenup grab Artist's
I healed him
hands,
somehow.
And you're gonna say, and she's just like, it's all good. And then you see him just go a bit more rigid, and his eyes, like, kind of lock in, just staring off into the horizon as he gains even less vitality in this moment.
Oh.
I'm sorry, I thought I was helping.
Okay,
I just wanted to make. I've seen you really wreck people.
I like that.
No, yeah,
flavor.
that was a good idea. Yeah, to like.
Let me retcon one thing. So Serenup starts to use the shocking grasp, and we do see electricity begin to trickle into Artis's form, and then voicing the worries, Mira, you say what you did say, which is don't do damage, and then we see all of the lightning immediately go and slurp back into Serenup.
Oh my gosh, God.
Yikes.
Lightning.
Oh, that felt so weird.
I'm so
my arms.
sorry. I'm so sorry.
It's okay.
I would like to take out my lightning dagger.
Okay,
And I'm
no.
just gonna stand.
Squall. You all see Integrity draw Squall, a little silver dagger. It's shaped like a lightning bolt.
Okay.
It's dull. It doesn't have
Wait
an
a
edge.
second. Wait a second. Okay, before we start stabbing,
You could just like prick his finger very gently.
yeah, like maybe he
Just a very
he just needs
gentle
coffee.
little
I don't
prick.
know, like
Just a very gentle little finger prick. He's not had fingers before. It's just a prick. It's still a net improvement.
I am gonna continue walking up towards Artist, holding my squall.
not acknowledging what we're saying at all.
Integrity.
Just be very gentle, but still do a little bit of harm because apparently no harm also means not helping, as we've just learned.
What do I touch? I don't know where I should attach this thing.
Integrity. His eyes look at you. You see
just a
7
little.
beads of sweat individually drip down his forehead.
Just a little.
I'm going to
little
take
prick.
his hand
Absolutely. It's rigid like a corpse.
and open the palm.
You open the palm. It's
And I'm
difficult.
going to gently rest my squall on him.
Roll
on
a
his
d4.
hand.
Roll a d4 plus your dexterity. Roll your squall damage, please. Which is all lightning damage, if I recall properly.
Yes.
Okay.
Oh my gosh. 5 plus 5.
Excellent. 5 plus 5.
No. I got a 2 plus 3, so it's a 5.
Okay. I was like, oh my goodness. Okay. So the scene we see before ourselves is Serenepth, you are, and Mira, you are standing almost a wall in front of Artis as Integrity, holding up her lightning-shaped dagger, walks slowly forward, ominously, menacingly almost. Artis, drops of sweat drip from his forehead. Integrity pushes between the two of you, opens Artis's palm, places the dagger ever so gingerly, and just begins to blast Artis with lightning. You see sparks run through his hands. You see vigor return to his face. You hear him go and take a huge breath in. You see his eyes close and like his muscles almost like jolt, the same way like when you get a back jolt when you're sleeping or lying down. And he's just like, and he pulls his hand away from you immediately, Integrity, and he'll say, "Oh my goodness, I was petrified. I'm not literally petrified, but thank you so much. I wasn't aware that was, I mean, I overheard what Professor Alaro said to you last night, but I didn't expect it to be so quick to set in."
So you weren't thirsty after all?
I would say a bit parched, but the normal morning amount of just having a bit, like bit of a bad taste in the mouth, didn't drink enough water before going to bed, haven't drank enough water in the past couple of weeks. Yes, sorry. So how was your sleep, everyone?
Your floor is surprisingly comfortable.
It was pretty fine.
Oh, that's nice.
Little stressful because of everything and like the risk of expulsion and all that, but good otherwise.
Yeah.
You feeling okay now?
My mind's working now, or at least my mind is working in conjunction with my body, which feels much nicer. Yes. I do feel much better now. I feel, and he like stretches a little bit on the couch, like wiggles his back and forth almost, and he goes, I feel a bit younger, honestly. My back doesn't ache as much as it used to.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we made you younger.
Oh.
The only reference that we had here was like the picture of you in your book, so
yeah.
yeah.
I use that as the reference to like use the polymorph on you to. So
Okay.
yeah, you're gonna feel a little bit better in like the movement area because you're not so old anymore.
I wasn't gonna say it as rudely,
I wasn't
but
that
yeah.
old. Like, I mean, in absolute time, sure, I was fairly old, but and still am. I still am that age. My soul didn't get younger. It's just the body that got younger. But like relative to like a gnome or like a human or something, it wasn't like I was ancient. I'm
So
just
that means
middle
that
aged.
you lived longer in
Not
your
even
dread.
middle aged. Like,
Jesus Christ! Holy shit!
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought I said that in my head.
Damn.
It's just that anyone over a certain age seems old to us. Like, you get it, right? Like,
anyone over 700 is ancient to me.
Like, I'm a human and I'm like 20, so
yeah.
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 Anyone who's not like a student is old to me.
Yeah.
So
But at the same point, you're younger than Yexum. Everyone is younger than Yexum.
everyone is younger than
Everyone
Yexum.
is younger than
Yep.
Yexum, that's true.
I'm gonna go over to my bag and pull out my little assortment of like tea bags that I kind of carry with me. Of like, does anyone want tea?
I could go for some, yeah.
Yes,
Sure.
please.
Okay.
So artists,
Yes. Integrity. What can I do for you?
are you going to be talking, or speaking with the council?
Professor Alaro mentioned something of the sort, speaking with Professor Greybeard and speaking about having my soul entrapped into a stone for weeks on end and being unable to affect the greater world around me or communicate with anyone at all whatsoever. And how, despite all that, I was very much, in fact, just sentient and aware of it all. That's a thing that's happening today, yes. I don't know if any council members directly will be involved or if it'll just be me speaking to Professor Greybeard and any other assembled necromancers, and then that gets passed on to the council. I'm not a necromancer. I don't quite know how these things work. I don't have like a governing board over my research. It's just kind of the school looks over it, right? Supervises it. So I can't directly tell you what the process will be, but nonetheless, yes, I assume when we get onto campus this morning, that I will be taken and asked a lot of questions about being trapped in a stone.
Okay, I guess I'm just a little bit worried that we might get kicked out of school.
Well, yes. I think that's a natural worry. But I would have faith in Professor Alaro and the Council of Administrators to understand the severity of what happened and the necessity of what happened. I hope that they will. I can't give you any words of comfort beyond that, but I just hope that the truth of the situation will win them over, the desperation of the act, and the fact that people came out relatively unscathed physically from the other end. And so long as no one says anything to the contrary, I think you should be fine.
I hope so.
But in situations as large as this, I do think the worry of expulsion might be... it's a reasonable worry, Integrity. I won't dismiss it out of hand.
I hate getting in trouble for doing the right thing, and it feels like it keeps happening to us.
Yes. It is the way that the school operates to keep things running as per normal. I can't 100% relate. I never got in a ton of trouble as a student. Most of my troublesome moments have occurred afterwards. And they're a bit looser with you once you're no longer a student of theirs, and they can kind of hide you beneath buildings and in little closets and such things. Like my office. I don't mean bury you and kill you. I mean just like hide you away in terms of just like, oh, these people work for us, but you don't pay attention to them.
Well, you did end up in a closet once, though, because don't I remember?
Yes.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess it could be literal, too.
Could be literal. I also died underground, or had my body burnt to death, or burnt to bits underground. So literal on all counts, I suppose. But I don't think that's the school's doing.
Take everything with a grain of salt, I suppose.
Yes, I suppose. Yes. What about the rest of you? Plans for today other than being scared?
We have to fight.
Yeah, we have a duel if you want to come see it. We've won all our duels so far.
Our parents will be there.
Yes.
Yeah. Oh my god, yeah, that's still a thing that has to happen. Oh.
I've overheard just a little bit. It's kind of muffled in there, to truth be told. I overheard... No, it's no fault of your own. It's just quality of the stone. And I overheard bits and pieces here and there throughout my residence in Serenep's pocket. Is there any considerations? And he looks at you, particularly Mira, and he'll say, is there any strong considerations I should have in mind when meeting with your parents, or your mother, rather?
Yeah. So they seemed a little not the happiest. And, originally when they came to the school, they wanted to pull me out and also to sue the school. And I'm hoping they're not on the whole pull me out train anymore. So if you can really emphasize that Wildcliff is a safe place, and that the accident that happened was very out of the ordinary, but also that it wasn't your fault either. It was just a totally,
completely extraneous,
random
these things
thing, but also not a common thing.
Just happen, but not ever.
But
this is a
not
once
ever.
in a lifetime phenomenon.
Yes, this is nothing like this has ever happened at the school before, and it would never happen again. Also, it wasn't your fault because you're a very good mentor at a very safe school. Yeah.
And you said your mother's terrible at telling if people are lying?
I find historically when I've had things to hide, my dad is usually better at knowing, but my mom is also sometimes more suspicious because she knows sometimes I have something to hide. So, like, I have to be very like, what? Mom, I didn't sneak out to go see the traveling concert that is here in Luton. What do you mean? I was at home. I was doing reading all night. Mom, what are you talking about? So, like, yeah, I think you should probably be good if you have deception. She doesn't know you, so she doesn't know if you have any tells, and that's a good sign.
Perfect. And I'm kind of rusty at this whole thing too, so I think it'll all just come across as just being some awkward academic. So maybe that's a bonus as well.
Yeah, because that's totally
my dad
not you
is a
at
fan
all.
of the whole awkward academic thing because he's also kind of an awkward academic. So you guys actually might get along.
Oh,
If you know anything about library science and you talk to him about that, he will like you. So that's a good sign.
Okay, got it.
Mira, do you know if your father has Artis's book in his library?
You know, he actually might. If you bring it up, that might be a possible topic of conversation that isn't about the school and it's a sort of dangers.
I strongly doubt that. Quite. There was only like 7 copies that got printed, and I have 3 of them. So
if he has it would be on like a plank of wood with like a lot of waves, because your book has a really long title.
Yeah, of course. So, let's just drink some tea and think for a few moments before we head to campus and are met with whoever we meet with, okay?
Sounds like a plan.
Sounds great. And he will stand up unsteadily almost from the couch. Again, still getting used to this whole body of his, and take a stroll out to look at the frosted garden. Saraneth.
I think she was kind of waiting for a couple moments because like she had to like get everything like ready for the tea and everything, and she kind of brings in like this. I think she just found a platter or something like that to put a bunch of different like mismatched cups on.
Absolutely. Platters are plentiful in the artesian cottage. Let me tell you.
Also gifts.
It's such a weird mismatch of things. It bothers me so much. Okay. I think she's gonna just very quickly when she sees he kind of walks off. To be like, Artis.
Yes. What can I do for you, Saraneth?
Just when you say that you heard a lot of stuff,
So we're gonna have this conversation first thing in the morning?
No, I just didn't know what you knew, and so it doesn't have to be right now. It does not have to be right now. I just, when you said that you heard a lot of things, but it was all, some of it was muffled, I didn't know.
I heard a lot of conversations that you had with people, Saraneth, and that people had around you, Saraneth, and choice words spoken in places that I would prefer that you didn't go, but I realize I don't have the control over you going there or not. And of course, voices that I had not heard in a long time. But I think that, sorry, one moment. And he kind of like looks away from you and like regains his composure, Saraneth. And I think that you can operate under the assumption that I've heard the things you've been entwined in. And if I'm lost at any point, I will just ask for clarification and hope you're telling me the truth. How does that work for you?
Yep.
So, having done all that, said all that, unless there's any other pressing little scrumptious bits you'd like to get with Artis in this single moment, we can, as we watch Swim sip their tea. What's the tea? What is the tea? What does it taste like? Please tell us this.
It's like a lavender-ish, like raspberry, but oddly enough, it tastes like wild blueberries.
Oh, excellent.
Like somehow the combination of like citrus and the little fruits has somehow singularly gone into a blueberry flavor.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so, Artis Artesian will dress in a more formal manner than he typically and traditionally does. This is to say, he pulls out the good scraggly clothes to wear. There's a bit of embroidery on them that look very nice, oranges and reds, similar to what he was wearing the first time you'd ever met him, where it was like this dark black robe.
The villain clothes.
Yes.
Villain clothes.
The villain
yes.
clothes.
And
now we know that they're the first impression clothes.
Pulls out a red ribbon. Sorry, actually. He exits from the bathroom here in the artesian cottage, the artesian estate. And in his hair, pulled back into a ponytail, is a light yellow, like buttercup yellow ribbon, right? Versus the very standard red that you would come to know from artists. And having dressed and drank tea and reflected on his morning, he will look to the rest of you as he approaches his front door and will say, all right, are you all ready and willing to go?
I guess so.
More
to
than
go
ready.
eventually.
And I'm going to, as we're walking, I'm going to do high knees. Just trying to warm up.
Antigone does high knees, getting ready for that tournament, getting ready for that duel.
I'm giving
warm,
Mr. Wiggle some
limber.
pets around the ears.
Absolutely. He is absolutely loving it, and he's purring. It's like a little engine sits within your hands. Winsler just churning out purrs. I don't actually know the mechanism by which cats purr, but I have to assume it's some sort of engine inside of them.
Internal vibration.
Yeah, it's just a combustion
Every
engine.
cat is
Steam
actually
engine.
a car.
Beep, beep.
So he will push open or pull open one way or another. I don't think it fucking matters.
Open
Sesame.
sesame.
He opens the front
Yeah.
door of the artesian estate, and through the magic of the concourse, it is connected with campus. And you all can exit out onto campus. You pass a quick glance over towards the booth and see that it is not, in fact, Bert working today, which it might be nice. It's just some other schmuck. And
It's probably
Artis will-
better if he's not working today, because then we won't be bombarded with questions.
Artis will
I think
close
he already
the
thinks
door.
that we had a whole other thing.
He closes the door behind him, and it vanishes, turning back into that flat stone archway. And poignantly, no one immediately runs up to you to say, you're in trouble. You're kind of just met with silence as you walk onto campus.
Do we actually know where we need to go, or if anybody in particular is going to arrive to pick us up, so to speak?
She said if we were expelled, we would know.
So that's great news.
That's a good sign for us, I think.
So we just have to wait until we know, or
Yeah, I think we should just kind of keep doing our thing, and if we're good, we're good, right? And if they have something to say to us, they can come to us. So
Yes.
okay.
I agree, Mira. Just carry on with the course. And if the administration has anything, they know where we all are. So I don't think it should be a problem. What time do you all duel? Do you know that information? Are you gonna run off and get breakfast now? Can I accompany you still?
I think we should probably go get breakfast now while we have time, because I think we're supposed to duel fairly soon.
Okay. I'm going to go check on my office. It's been far too long since I've stepped foot in there, and just reminisce on some things for a moment. I will meet with you all before your duel begins. So until that time, and he puts a hand I imagine you're all standing in a small circle, in the rude way that when people walk through doors sometimes they just stand in circles in front of the door. So you actually see the concourse door turn into a different door behind you all, and there's these 7 elves that pile on out, and they're like, oh my god, these people, in Elvish Mira, you hear this, one of them's like, why are they just standing in front of the door? And they scurry on their way. But
glare.
but you're all standing in this circle, and Artis will put his hands on the two of you that are on his left and right. He would put hands on all of you, on all of your shoulders.
He can't
but
put his
only
hands on
has
my
two.
shoulders.
He only has
To reach
2.
all the way down.
Yeah, he just scoots down.
Scoops Winsler up.
Yeah, he on
both sides
his
are
left.
Winsler and Serenep, so he
On
has to do
Serenep.
this.
Yes. He's medium crouched, one hand on Winsler's shoulder, one hand on Serenep's shoulder, and he'll look up at you, Integrity, and also Mira, slightly lopsided gaze so that he can meet both of your eyes, because you are a fairly big difference in height, and he'll say, I cannot express my appreciation for how far the 4 of you have gone just to save me. And I I would be lying if I'm not a bit scared to walk out on my own onto campus, but I'm not just going to follow you around like some lost animal. I will see you before the duel, and if anyone comes to bring me before a council or before an order of necromancers to face high judgment, I will come and find the 4 of you first and let you know what's going on. So until then, enjoy your breakfast, have a good morning, just carry on like everything's fine, because it is fine for now. It's fine indefinitely. I don't know why I said for now. Anyways.
We missed you.
I missed all of you. I was right there, but I missed all of you as well.
Yeah, but now you're here.
How did Isithil go, by the way? I heard,
we should go get badly. Bye.
Bye.
Okay.
I'm hungry.
We'll meet you later.
And you all
See you, Artis. Bye.
Oh my god! And Artis
She's
stands
going
there,
faster. She's walking so
staring up-
fast now, leaving the
Yeah,
area.
staring up
Goodbye.
bright red in the face, just runs off. The rest of you like, oh, we gotta leave. motoring down the path. Artis stands there, gobsmacked, and just kind of like, again, that he has this like anxious look on his face, right? Like he's like, this is the first time I've been alone in weeks.
It's like when you leave your preschool child for the first time ever.
Yep. That's how you all feel as you leave Artis.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
And you can head to dining hall. You can fill your frickin' boots. Let me lay out some dishes.
Oh
that are
shit! Do you
here
have
for
a
you
giant menu
this
for
morning.
us?
For
yes.
food,
Let's go.
plain apples.
Mm.
There's some beans with sugar,
Yum.
just in giant pots distributed on the tables.
Fuck yes.
There's some pretty sad-looking pancakes. They're not up to standard for what Wildcliff pancakes are. The syrup's not even like a good syrup. It feels like it's like pretty synthetic, honestly. Like, and the pancakes almost taste like they've been reheated, like they were cooked like 2 days ago and they're just warmed back up by like over a stove. There's some weird burn marks.
It's the authentic dining
This is
hall
why we're in
experience.
charge of the foods, Luke.
This is pretty on brand for cafeteria food.
and
though.
just some like rubbery, not even fully cooked through, like trundles of bacon. What is a trundle?
Do they got sweet potato fries though?
They have
With the
a
chipotle
tray
mayo?
They have a tray of sweet potato fries. They are all empty. They are all
course.
empty.
Fuck!
Of course.
Everyone
Have
else,
to
when
get
you
here
walk
early
into
on
dining
sweet
hall,
potato
time.
fries
when you walk
day.
into dining hall, everyone else has sweet potato fries on their plates. There is just not enough for the rest of you.
Every fucking time.
Did they
But-
cut the budget?
I think just the festival itself has kind of like taken up all the space. Maybe I'm not sure.
The
This is
resources are
depressing.
moved over to somewhere else. I'm just gonna go get an apple and some cereal.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was like, oh, the artist doesn't have food at his place because it's depressing. Oh, how nice it's gonna be at dining hall. This is
Jokes on
somehow
you. It's also
sadder.
depressing here.
Yeah, this is like sadder, right?
We
I'm
know
gonna
it's like
grab
we
a-
know there's food here, but we
Yeah.
know what kind of food it is, and it's not good.
I'm gonna grab an
Yeah.
apple and put it in a
Yes.
bowl and then pour the
Yes.
synthetic syrup and pretend that it's candy apples.
Oh, absolutely, a pleasant experience. You see a small crowd of people gathered here in the dining hall, eating their food. There's a lot of other people expressing extreme distaste for this food. Veldon, you hear loudly proclaiming like, the syrup, it's just bad. Like, it's sweet, but in this disgusting way that almost like it feels like it got run through. Like, it feels like sewer. It feels kind of sewagey. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's too. And Marundine's sitting next to him eating like he just has a very large wooden bowl and it is full, overflowing in that fact with like uncooked completely bacon, and he's very hesitantly just slopping that stuff down.
Oh.
People do not seem to be enjoying themselves on this morning.
I don't
Like,
think anyone
he's a-
is.
But he's like a dragonborn. Wouldn't he enjoy?
Damn.
It's still
like,
like half-cooked bacon.
So nonetheless, there is a large roster near dining hall that you could have seen while walking into it that you can see lots of fun brackets. So today there's 3 duels happening. First is the first year victors, which is your team, versus the second year victors, which is Syndra's team as you look at it. And then right afterwards, so that's taking place at 11:30 a.m. Taking place right 30 minutes smack dab after it at noon, third year's Bailey Blues team versus a fourth year team, which seems to be Joan Evelyn Kingsley's team.
Yeah.
I have
the
never
Cannon
wanted
team.
Bailey to win something before.
Right?
And then after that, 30 minutes after that, doesn't really matter, just some 6th years versus 7th years. And then everything's down to semifinals and finals, which will be happening tomorrow on the last day of Autumn's End Festival. And if you, again, I'm going to stress this, today's the last day of autumn, so tomorrow is technically, autumn's ended, it's the first day of winter. But nonetheless, that's when those events will be happening. So your duel starts at 11:30. So you have some downtime this morning if you wanted to prepare things or catch up with people or try to get an idea of, because I do want to give you the idea. It's quiet this morning, right?
Mhm.
Like unsettlingly quiet, especially for like a festival day, right? And so if you wanted to try to look into things and try to get some rumors or gossip or just some like people that might have overheard something someone else overheard, right? Like that kind of like friend of a friend I heard, right? That kind of information here at Dining Hall, I would firmly welcome you to do so. Or you can try any other means of procuring information or other things.
Dude, so many people got bitten by snakes. I don't know what happened.
I think listening to some gossip would be a very good idea on this morning.
Interesting.
I would like to be a fly on the wall.
You'd like
just
to be a
like
fly on the wall.
sneaking to different
Well,
parts.
unfortunately, you don't have the wild shape ability, so you're going to have to be a tiefling on the wall.
That's because of the no druids. God damn it.
Druids, yeah.
Dang.
Mira, you're the two, in my mind, pillars in the gossip community are kind of absent right now. Ari, the golem, you've not seen them in weeks. Ever since the before Isithil.
Golem party.
Yeah.
And
Well, I mean, we saw him.
we saw Ari
yeah,
before
oh,
that,
Ari,
but they
Ari,
didn't.
yeah,
But
Mira,
I did not.
Mira hasn't seen Ari in fucking half a year almost.
Damn.
And
Angelica's dying.
Angelica's died.
Stop it.
Great.
No, she's
Angelica
not.
is
Stop it.
sick in the infirmary. Yes.
Hmm.
So what's the deal? How are you going to approach this?
Who else would be a useful little gossip sponge?
Bailey?
Oh, and the other note is your other mini gossip sponge was just killed and revived last night. Alina, who does also enjoy listening to people and getting the hot goss. She's not here. Presumably she's in her room, you would might guess, Mira.
Yes. Well, but the people who do... Alina talks to Velden a lot, and Velden... I mean, none of the other first years are dueling anymore, which means
Correct.
there wouldn't be any thoughts about any duels. So I think that I'm going to sit in that general area. Unfortunately, that does mean where Murandine is as well.
Yes, it
but
does.
I will suck it up to absorb the hot goss.
Okay, perfect. So are you just blatantly going to go and sit next to them, or are you trying to be a bit more discreet about it, Mira?
Ooh, I know what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna be
Okay.
like, integrity. We need to know what's gonna go on with dual stuff and school stuff. You owe Murandine snacks, right?
Ooh.
Whoa. How do you remember that?
It was like last week. So if we sit down and we make it like, oh, we were just thinking about snacks because the food is so bad today, then maybe we can like get a conversation flowing and like get some information, you know? You don't actually have to give Murandine the snacks. We just have to start up a conversation using the snacks as an in.
Okay. So I think I'll bring up the snacks, but I'm not gonna, try to recall that I owe him snacks. Like if he'll remember, then I'll give it to him, but if he doesn't, it doesn't
Totally.
exist.
Totally. Okay. Are you guys gonna be like getting some information too? And I like wink at Winsler and Sereneth.
I'm not a very good conversationalist. I mean, I could get Mr. Wiggles to kind of go around all like being a cat and whatever, and I could hone in on his keen hearing.
Oh, that's smart. That's really smart.
Interesting. So is that something you would like to do, Winsler?
Sure, I'll see if Mr. Wiggles wants to walk around and do what
Perfect.
he wants for the
Of course
moment.
not.
So that can be happening in the background. Meanwhile, Integrity and Mira. Integrity, what is the icebreaker here as the two of you walk up to the end of this large table? Veldin is sitting here complaining loudly about the just dismal breakfast service. Just an absolute disgrace to Wildcliff. Murundine is nodding like a half-asleep fellow that he currently is at like 8:30 in the morning, eating just piece after piece after piece after piece of bacon. And sitting across the table from them is Ira, who's just like watching him eat, almost like hypnotized and just like the kind of face of like, how can you eat so much? I think she might even say that as you like walk up, of just like, how are you capable of just eating that much? Like, it's 2 pieces and then I'm like sick for the rest of the day.
I'm going to walk up with my bowl, which has apples and syrup, and I'm going to plop it onto the table, like not even like bringing it down, but literally like just letting go,
dropping it
of it. And then I'm going to pretend to faint onto the chair, and I'm going to be like, "This is so disgusting."
Veldin will say, Veldin, a shorter halfling, as far as halfling goes, he's shorter, and has like dark black hair and sunken little eyes from staying up all night reading horror fiction. And he'll look at you, Integrity, like draped on the bench dramatically, and he'll go, "It's absolutely terrible. Like, if you're going to do this to us, do it to us in the start of the second, like at the start of second year, not right now when it's like, these are the last fun moments of Autumn's End Festival, and you're going to give us this like just trash. You're going to feed us garbage."
It's so horrible, right? Mm-hmm. Maybe it's like so that they're saving all the good food for the gala tomorrow, so like we all go.
That's extortion.
I know, right?
Like, I'm owed food. I paid for it already. Like, like, where do my living costs go if not the amazing food, right? Like, I'm sure it costs a lot of money to, like, get all this stuff and everything, but it's a school. We all pay, like, so much gold to the school and, like, in research costs and all these things and, like, everything. And it's like, how do you not have enough food to feed us for the whole year?
Right? And did you know that even though, like, Crow is the one that, like, the Crow company is the one that supplies everything to the school, they still sell stuff at the bookstore for enormous prices.
Yeah, I went by yesterday to pick up a package of chips, and the guy at the shop told me it costs 2 gold pieces now.
What?
Before we were trapped in Isithil, it was 1 gold piece for a bag of chips, which is already too much, far too much. Back home, if you want a bag of chips, 3 copper pieces, it'll give you a bag of freaking chips. But no, it's 2 gold pieces now. I'm not made of gold. I'm not some rich kid. I don't have money to blow on snacks like that.
Totally. You know, I feel like someone should be in control of the event planning committee who cares about stuff like this. That's what I think.
Make a persuasion check, Mira.
Absolutely.
As you say that a bit louder than you would in a normal conversation.
8 plus 8, which is 16.
Okay, let me make a note. Mira, party plan or event planning propaganda.
Yep.
Okay. Ira will kind of look at you and go, "Aren't you part of that? Didn't you organize a whole party where the headmaster died?"
Yeah, the snacks there were like really good, remember?
I mean, it's not the most memorable thing that happened that night. Like I just said,
I
the
know.
headmaster died.
Well, he didn't die at the party, Ira.
Wasn't he? Didn't he?
Well,
I didn't stay till the end. I'm sorry.
Oh, he didn't die during the party.
I thought he showed up and got killed.
We were all eating and dancing, and then all of a sudden they were like, "Hey, stop the party! The headmaster's dead."
Yeah, it was really crazy. But no, it's Bailey Blue who's in charge of the event planning committee for some reason. Isn't he actually? He's dueling. He's dueling today, isn't he?
Murundine
Interesting. Those
slurps
duels
down a piece of bacon.
Ew.
It's almost like he inhales it, and he looks at you, Mira, and he goes, "Yeah, he is dueling. His team beat one of my clanmates the other day in their duel, and it set everyone off, and I've just been hearing about it nonstop."
Really? What have you been hearing?
I mean, it was less about Bailey Blue and his team. That's kind of inconsequential. Just the fact that Michonne and her team lost was the bigger deal. That's the first time that they've lost a duel, other than, against like an upper years. since they've been here. So it's like kind of like, oh, it's the same way that when I had to report, like tell my clan about, oh, we didn't get to participate in the duel and I was gone and trapped in a forest. It was kind of just like, I can't believe you would bring dishonor and disgrace upon this clan. What a whelp you hatchlings are. That kind of thing. Just don't have anything else. But that's the way of things, isn't it? All of your parents do that, right?
Not really.
Speaking of, more about those duels. How is it? Have you seen anything new?
Veldin will, I think Ira will look at you, Integrity, and say, we got back yesterday, and like, every duel had ended by the time we got back. You know that, right? And like, you remember the conversation we had yesterday about not being able to like do the duels, right? We were trapped in a different plane of existence and didn't get to participate in the duels, didn't get to watch the duels. They seem really cool. Everyone seems to be really excitedly talking about them. If that's what you're trying to ask, how was yours? Was yours cool? Did you just want us to ask about yours? Was yours fun? The one where you fought a spider?
Well, you know what, Ira? I'm not even proud of that. I was literally incapacitated for most of it.
I was literally in another plane for ours, so honestly, I feel you, but you got to fight and you're still in it. I wish you guys luck in it today, though, because you're going up against second years.
Yeah, we're fighting, I think it's the same team that Syndra Sunfire is on. I don't know if you guys know her or anything about her or what she can do in a combat situation. Or
she's the girl who stands with like the posters on her sometimes, right?
Yeah, golem stuff.
Okay. They made it to the quarterfinals?
Oh, why is that surprising? Mira leans forward.
Oh my god.
Hunger in her eyes for the goss.
And Hyrule will say, because she stands around until all hours of the night in very quiet spots in campus yelling about this, about everything. I mean, she seems really nice. I've never spoken with her because she's loud and kind of startles me a bit too much.
We had detention together. She's great.
That's
you know,
cool.
After Underbow died, that one of his dying wishes was that we had to do detention.
Merendi,
like, they brought him back to talk to him and was like, oh, make sure the students who have detention still have to do detention.
Merendi nods and he goes, that was after the sewer incident, right?
Yep.
Where, like, people were getting taken because Karina and I had to do detention in the archives after we got escorted by one of the golems to the archives specifically to help Miss Redding just put books back on a shelf for 17 hours.
We had to do that once, but we got trapped in the book story. Yeah.
Books,
it was fine,
stories
though.
Are in books. Mira.
Yeah. So, Syndra's team, who else is even on that team? Do you guys know? Because I feel like I don't know anything about that.
Well, there's one that I know, but I really don't know what she's capable of. Do I remember her name?
Nadrai.
Like, have you all heard of someone named Nadrai?
Veldin will put a finger to his lips and say, I think that she's one of my upperclassmen in the evocation department. I don't think I've ever spoken to her. She has like a really, really mean kind of stare and just like a very like, do not talk to me, do not perceive me right now kind of like mood about her. And Ira nods like with a warm smile. And Veldin will continue and say, I think I've seen her arguing with some other girl in the evocation department, another second year. I don't know if they're on the same team or they just don't like each other, but it's the only person I've ever seen her talk to. I think her name's something like Keely or something. She's just another evoker.
Interesting.
Does like earth stuff. Like
earth stuff.
Yeah.
Interesting. Do they both do earth stuff?
To my knowledge, I don't think Miss Nadrai does any earth stuff, but I'm sure she could if she wanted to. I mean, like, you have to take the earth stuff class, or like, it's not called earth stuff, but like earth evocations as like a prerequisite for a lot of the second year classes. You do have to take that class, and he like he wipes his nose as he's like talking a bit too fast and like is getting very excited and like leans forward and he'll say, and actually, like most evokers are like earth manipulations are like kind of in the domain of transmutation also. So like it's not our primary kind of like thing, but you do have to know a bit about it, right?
Okay, good to know. Thank you, Alden.
Mm-hmm.
Are they any good?
Oh, I have no clue. I've never watched them fight. We were like in the, we went to the infirmary after our duel, and then we just kind of went to dining hall and didn't talk about it or unpack anything that happened. And it was just like, and I will say, it was just kind of like a slow building kind of like, wow, that was terrible, but I can't wait until we do it again in autumn and face them again. We're talking about you four. Face them again and beat them. But then we didn't. We didn't get to fight again.
Mm-hmm.
Very unfair. Bit unfair.
Well, you guys will get to fight in the practice duels next year, right? Is that all the year? That's all the years.
Yeah, you're right. It is all the years.
Yeah.
Yeah. So maybe we'll just train a bunch over winter and then fight again in the spring.
That's cool. We'll be working jobs in Troil.
We'll be working and getting paid.
In this time, Mr. Winsler Wallaby. Not Mr. Wiggles. You're not a player character. Mr. Winsler Wallaby is a player character. Though. How would you like to, during this wonderful, enthralling, and very informative conversation, how would you like to be gathering intelligence?
All right. So I feel like the best way to get information is to basically hide in plain sight. So
of course.
I want Mr. Wiggles to just sort of like wander around dining hall, like underneath tables, sit down for a little bit, maybe jump up on a table and let people pet him or whatever.
Oh, the best,
all the while I'll be listening in just to see if anything sort of catches my ears.
Okay, perfect. Give me a persuasion with advantage. Does that make sense, or do you think insight would make sense? Insight
Probably
with advantage.
Insight makes
Either
more
way,
sense.
I want you to roll it with advantage because people are talking very happily because there is a cat to pet.
Okay. I need to figure out what a cat's insight is.
My impression was that you were just sitting nearby and listening and trying to overhear from.
No, I'm honing in on his senses.
Okay, you're using Mr. Wiggles' ears.
Yeah.
Okay.
So he has +1 apparently.
Okay, but does he only get advantage when he rolls for smells, or is that
That's for
hearing as
smells?
well? Okay, so give me an insight roll with advantage because Mr. Wiggles is in the thick of it, walking under chairs or through benches, brushing against people's leg. They go, "Oh, what a cute cat," and give him like 2 scratches. Winsler.
He's not feeling it. That was an 8.
Not feeling it. Ooh.
He's really not feeling it.
So this is what happens then in that case. Mr. Wiggles walking very, very inconspicuously through the crowd, rubbing legs, jumping on the table. He jumps on the table and someone goes, "What a beautiful cat!" And then he walks down the table a little bit, like weaving through the tall glasses of water that people have or the bowls that people have, and sets his eyes upon a small tiefling sitting and speaking with 3 other members. Mr. Wiggles approaches the end of the table where once Miss Syndra Sunfire is sitting, as if to gather some intelligence. You get the first few specks of things as Syndra goes, "Yeah, well, we talked to them yesterday, and so everything should be..." And then Mr. Wiggles sits a bit too close, and everyone, the 4 of them at the end of this table, turn and look at the cat. And Syndra looks at Mr. Wiggles, and Winsler, you hear through Wiggles' ears, "Aren't you Winsler Wallaby's cat?"
Uh-oh.
And she will stand up and grab Mr. Wiggles and like pick him up and like begin looking around while like petting Mr. Wiggles and just looking for you, Winsler.
Shit.
Are you making any effort to hide? Or are you just sitting down at like the first year table and hanging out?
No, I don't feel like I would need to hide. I feel like hiding
perfect.
would just draw more suspicion on me. Mr. Wiggles wandering around.
Absolutely,
He's a cat.
perfectly normal.
He can do what he wants.
Nonetheless, Syndra stands up from this conversation and she'll go, "I'm going to be right back. I'm just going to bring his cat back so that he's not here and like hanging out because I don't want him to lose his cat." And so Syndra picks up Mr. Wiggles. I already saw him lose the cat once. It like disappeared. A frog stole it into another, I don't know where. It just jumped through our hearts and it took the cat. But anyways, and and walks back with Mr. Wiggles towards you through the moderately crowded dining hall, Winsler. And she'll walk up to you and hold him out towards you and say, "Hey, I just wanted you to know that he was wandering around and he jumped up on our table. I think he probably spilled a couple of people's dishes, but so maybe give him a bath or something. He might have syrup on him.
Beans
and also, I spoke with Integrity yesterday, but good luck with the duel today in a couple hours, in an hour."
Yeah, good luck to you too. Sorry about Mr. Wiggles. He kind of likes to wander. He really loves pets behind the ears.
Syndra will give him some pets behind the ears, and Syndra will then wave at the four of you, just individually. She'll wave at you, Winsler, and then try to locate Sereneth and wave at Sereneth, and then walk past Integrity and Mira as you're talking about, so that's Syndra Sunfire, right? And she goes, "Hi, have a good time dueling today. Us, good luck dueling us today. Bye." And she'll just walk past back to her table.
Bye.
I'm gonna crush them.
I know, right?
So, unless there was any other strong reconnaissance or people you wanted to look for, you pass the time making idle talk and just relaxing, earnestly relaxing, the best you can. Because I think the thing Integrity said earlier this morning of, are we going to get expelled? I think that might still be lingering in the back of your mind. Anytime the dining hall doors and creak open and someone walks in, I think your heads turn and oh my god, this is it. Someone Kenneth Horse Wrangler or some council administrator is here to be get out of here. Or maybe even just Artis, or maybe even just Professor Alaro, right? Who knows who it's going to be. But one way or another, someone sometime today is probably going to walk up to you and say, here's some bad news, right? That's the fear. But that does not come to pass. At least... Oh, Mira, what's up?
Would you say that we rested for a short amount of time?
Oh, I would have said that you got a long rest last night, getting a good, nice old sleep.
Yes, but since this morning,
Ah.
where I used a slot of bardic inspiration, have we had a short rest in this
Yes.
hour
I
or
assumed
whatever?
you're hanging out for 90 minutes. Yeah.
Cool.
You can have a
Thanks.
short rest. Absolutely. God, I was oh no, is something wrong? Are you gonna look for someone? No, give me my spells. Give me my ability
things back, please.
Nothing terrible comes to pass. I would say for 3 of you.
No.
For a fourth.
No. Sorry.
The doors creak open at one point, probably about 20 minutes before the duels are about to start. Just on the brink of when all of you are okay, we should probably be getting up to go. Sereneth, the door opens. And it's just one person.
We had 2 more days.
You might recognize them, but you might not. The faces are so forgettable. But dressed in not bright, but a very noble blue and a very lavish silver, just flowing robe, large puffy shoulders and puffy knees, the kind of outfit where the pants go down to the knee and cover the knee, and there's a puffy, lovely knee, but then there's a brilliant white, clean sock going down into a just impeccably tailored loafer. Just the most noble, just the most fashionable looking, very squirely looking Sereneth walks into the dining hall. They are carrying in one hand a large scroll. There's a crest upon it, sealed. You see the Cinderman family crest upon it, Sereneth, and then kind of hoisted over their shoulder. As if you were gonna if you're carrying something over your shoulder, if you were to carry a flag and rest it over your shoulder. They have a long spear that they're holding the end of with their left hand, and it's long and extends over their shoulder. They're leaning on themselves. There's a long flag. It looks like a person who should be riding a horse and carrying this as if to herald the arrival of someone into a town, Sereneth. And it's just the large Cinderman crest on a field of brilliant blue. And they will...
God, no.
I am here as a forward party to announce the arrival upon tomorrow's morning at this very time and hour of Lord and Lady Cinderman.
die. I need to die immediately.
And there's
possible that we can like trick the people.
There is a hush which emanates over the dining hall. This voice echoing in the rafters. Rafters? Are rafters the right? In the rafters. And this squirely folk, this herald, Serenep, just is scanning the crowd, looking for you.
She like slides down the bench under the table.
Yes. Give me a stealth check, please.
Oh dear.
Okay. Like as she's doing it, she looks at Mira and she's like, "You don't see me. I'm not
I
here."
don't go here.
I sort of shift as well in my seat to sort of block the view.
Do it with advantage because your friends are helping you hide.
Yay.
I got like a spoonful of cereal in my mouth.
Okay, that is an unnatural 20.
Oh, absolutely. Serenith, you slink almost under the table at this point and are like crawling on hands and knees back towards like the entrance. Your friends kind of like see you move and everyone stands up very relaxedly, not to give anything away. Everyone can proceed to be making their way. And the herald, looking once and twice, goes, "Serenep Cinderman, I am looking for the daughter of Lord and Lady Cinderman, the heir to their entire wealth and fortune, the noble family of the Cindermans, a lineage extending back nigh upon hundreds of years, powerful in this world, Serenep Cinderman." And everyone's kind of like quiet, staring at this dude. And he'll say, "Well, it is no matter. If you are to see her, please direct her towards myself so that we might finalize preparations for the lovely and noble Lord and Lady Cinderman's arrival. Farewell all." And they turn on a heel and walk with poignant steps, a perfect march out of the dining hall, Serenep.
I think Serenep's having a panic attack under the dining table because my heart's beating so fast right now.
Yeah.
What was that?
Oh, I hope Serenep's okay.
He's looking for Serenep Cinderman.
Is that integrity talking?
Serenep takes like the bottom part of her shoe. She like slides it down like the bench to like bump against integrity to make her stop. Like, no.
Yeah. If you were all to look and like peek underneath the table, the long table that you're all sitting at. This is the year I'm not going to say seating. The long table you are all sitting at. You would see Serenep like crouched down there, looking wild in the eyes, just absolutely mortified.
Okay, guys, if anybody asks us, we'll just say we don't know, but we think she's at her dorm.
Wait, we
Sounds
don't
like a
know
plan.
Serenep?
We don't know where she is, but probably in her dorm doing like noble shit. We shouldn't say shit to those people, but you get the idea.
What kind of stuff is noble?
I don't know.
I'm not familiar with that word.
Yes, Serenep.
After calming down.
Yes, you like chew the fingers and like rock for a moment, and then what would you like to do?
She like takes a couple deep breaths and she thinks to herself, what student did I not see in the dining hall so far today? Because I'm going to cast polymorph on myself.
Oh, you didn't see Alina. You didn't see Alina in the dining hall today.
Oh, no.
That's a very poignant
We're
one.
going with that.
Okay. Polymorph coming up a couple of times. How long does that spell last? And
It lasts
could you
for an
read
hour.
me the description of it, please? Or like a summarized description of it, I guess, because I know it's a fucking wordy one. It's a chonky one.
It's a chunky spell.
This spell transforms a creature that you see within a range into a new form. An unwilling creature must make a wisdom saving throw to avoid the effect. The spell has no effect on a shape changer or a creature with 0 hit points.
Okay. Perfect.
The transformation lasts for the duration or until the target drops to 0 hit points or dies. The new form can be any beast whose challenge rating is equal to or less than the target. I think I am of equal standing or stronger than Alina.
First year students essentially challenge rating. Okay, that's enough detail, I think. And it lasts, 8 hours or 1 hour?
It only lasts 1 hour, but just
perfect.
enough time to like finish food, and then I'm going to be expected at the thing anyway, so it's like just to like.
So all of you see emerging Alina Hollyfield from beneath the table where Serenep Cinderman scurried into.
She very calmly walks over and picks up the shoe that she had thrown at Integrity and puts it back on and sits down.
Yes.
Do we know that Alina is Sarah?
You all witnessed the transformation. You heard the magical whoosh from below the table. There was like a small spray of light, and then Serenep in Seralina.
Seralina.
That's a Disney Barbie name.
Emerged from the burrow beneath the table.
Alina, have you seen Serenep Cinderman?
You hear people at a couple other tables going, Serenep Cinderman, similar to what Integrity's doing, just like parroting it at their friends, almost like mockingly.
I think her emotional reaction is kind of like a little bit hysterical of like the sudden stress of this whole thing that she thought she had avoided. Suddenly hitting her, so she like kind of like, I think she was eating like just like a couple of like an apple or something.
Yes.
And she kind of just kind of like hunkers down again. She's like, I wonder if I can like somehow like beat the system that they have set up there. If I could just die, like I don't have to deal with this. If I just, it's the end of everything. It's fine then. Yeah, right.
Are you gonna be okay?
I just need a couple minutes to properly relax. I forgot how strong my reaction is to my parents.
I hope it's not as bad as when they actually get here.
I mean,
sorry, that was probably not a good thing to say. I'll nope.
I mean, like the initial hit right now is pretty strong, but I know by the time they get here tomorrow at this exact time, probably in this exact location looking for me, I will have reached the calm, cool, collected setting that I'm usually at when I'm around them. So
pay attention for tomorrow at 11:10 a.m. Serenep, because that's when they're getting here. So a couple of people around you begin to start leaving. There seems to be some sort of mass exodus from dining hall for some reason or another. The time, as you look at whatever meaningful measurement of time there is, Integrity, the clock is ticking in your head, and you know it to be Integrity. 11:20.
My portable sundial.
Which is 10 minutes until your duel begins.
Well, we have 10 minutes left, so I think that we need to start going.
That's probably why everyone else is leaving, so we better probably get going.
Yep.
Yeah.
Are you all ready to put on a show?
Yep.
Yeah.
Hi.
Hey, Serenep. Is there anything any of us can do to make any of this easier for you? I can't even imagine. So if there is anything.
Honestly, again, like at this point in the whole thing, I know they said that they were going, I know that there was a whole letter about like them being here later, but like I had, I don't know, expected that maybe, I don't know, they forgot or like they weren't going to show up. I mean, like, I think this is punishment for my mess up a little bit earlier with artists. So, which we will never talk about ever. Ever.
Don't even worry about it.
Cool. I'm good.
Okay, let's kick some ass.
Before we leave.
Oh, yes, Winsler.
I'm going to take 4 apples and put them in my bag.
You take 4 small apples. 2 medium apples.
Are there any spiders?
And 2 small apples. All of them a reddish, yellowy hue. All of them just as overripe as the last.
Cool. Ew,
and you can, the 4 of you, and there's so many fruit flies in dining hall today, it's absurd. And the 4 of you can make your way, along with most of the people here. I won't say everyone is going to the evocation department, but a lot of people are. But you can make your way to the evocation department. Upon your arrival there, you'll see gathering crowd, and obviously there's the many preparation rooms that you can be ushered into, and you can find waiting outside of one of them, having a very what looks like awkward conversation, is one Delnus Wraithrin, who's wearing a wicker wizarding hat with like a flannel liner that's kind of like draping down over her ears on this chilly morning, talking to one artisan And then if you look at the other side of this breezeway, you see Elric Rathrin kind of standing there, trying to look off and look busy while people walk by, and he's trying to not watch his daughter talk to Artis. But they're both standing outside of, or I guess the three of them are generally standing outside of your preparatory room. And you can all walk up, talk about the things that previously occurred. Is there any immediate thing that you do say, though?
I just shuffle quickly so as to avoid Elric.
Excellent.
I'm pretending not to be me and going into the room.
You're gonna make a stealth check, though.
There it is.
We're just avoiding everybody today.
I know.
7 plus 5. 12.
Ooh, okay.
Ooh.
Mira, you're like watching and you go, oh, it's Ellis. What a cute hat. Oh, there's Artis. Cool. He's still alive. And then you feel a grasp on your arm and you look over and it's just Elric Wraith and he goes, Mira, I've been looking not everywhere for you, of course. I understand that you have a busy life and life outside of helping me. Have you been practicing on your own time?
I know so I'm actually about to go in for a duel.
Yes, we can talk about the duel in a second.
We can talk about it after.
Okay, we can talk about that. The duel can happen in a second. The duel will happen when the duel happens. Mira, you've been practicing, right? Like I haven't had a chance to like get you the music. I actually lost it. It's somewhere in my house. I seem to have misplaced it. It's somewhere. But I'm thinking tomorrow during the gala, when everyone's gathered. I know for a fact, because I acquired it for the school, that there's going to be a piano there. The acoustics of the venue should be amazing. There's going to be live music. So I think that's the moment. I think that's the moment that you back me up as my best student, my greatest student, my protege, my daughter's girlfriend, and I profess my love once more to Adeline. Oh.
Well, I actually did talk to Adeline, and I will tell you all about that after the duel.
I mean, it won't take very long, I'm sure, right? I'm sure. And you like, Mira, you're like kind of like moving. Like,
I'm inching
your way towards that door, and he's like staying stationary, like not wanting to just get in your way, but he's like reaching, and he's like, no, you can just tell me right now. I mean, the duel can wait, right? This is love.
Yeah, they're not gonna hold it. This, I know it's very important. I will tell you, I will give you all the information all about that. And I'll talk to even Crow and make sure the piano situation is as it should be. Okay, I'll talk to you after the duel. Bye. And I'm like slammed the
absolutely.
door.
Everyone else has already like gone in, and you slam the door. And that, I think, is where we can end this episode, I guess. The pacing got a bit wonky. We're
so popular today.
Yeah.
Jeez.
Carla, can you give us an outro for this episode?
But I'm out of practice.
Yes, all of us are. Can't you tell?
It's been a whole year.
Thank you, everyone, for watching or for listening to this week's episode. Please don't forget to leave a rating or a review on our iTunes or wherever you listen to our podcast. We also have an Instagram and Twitter at Trials and Trebs where you can follow us and, check out teasers, see art, and see all that cool stuff.
Yay.
On that note, you can also find the link to our Patreon on there because we do have a Patreon where we do receive money from you if you want to give us money, and we would happily take it.
Patreon.
And don't worry, it's not going to waste.
No. Patreon.com/Trials and Trebs, folks. That money ain't going to waste.
Your support means so much to us.
It does.
And I believe that is everything.
There's also a Discord server, the link to which is in the description of this episode, along with every other link that Carla already mentioned. And I think that is it for our first recorded episode of 2022. Thank you, everyone, for listening. We'll catch you next week for a duel, and nothing bad will happen to these students ever again. Bye!
See you later!
Just to Artis.
Bye!